Trump and China. Uh, Big story in the New York Times today by David Sanger, basically saying in David Sanger's polite way, the administration has no tactics or strategy about how to deal with China. We saw some developments today on Boeing. Forward, please. Boeing was told, the Chinese told its airlines to stop buying Boeing jets. That's obviously a pretty big retaliatory strike. Boeing, one of the great American companies that sells a fair amount to China. Um, Sean, what do you make of David Sanger's critique that it does not appear the administration has a China policy plan to deal with the fallout from the tariffs and the long-term goals America has with China?
Well, if you believe Secretary Bessent last week, this was the plan. So I think they're going to have to start showing people a little bit more evidence as to what the plan of, obviously, if you thought this was the plan, you had to have thought they would retaliate. Um, so I think they're going to owe a little bit more explanation soon, because people are really going to feel it. The Chinese know how to put the screws on like no one else. So, um, you know, the Boeing thing is obviously an intentional hit. They'll do a lot more. They'll stop showing U.S. movies in China. They'll do all that kind of stuff, and in the hope that U.S. industries start going after the White House. So I think we'll see what happens, but they're going to need to respond to this sooner rather than later because these are some big CEOs that are going to have a problem.
Dan, what do you make of the critique of David Sanger that they seem to be making it up as they go along with China?
I agree. I actually think they switched to China very fast to kind of try to override the announcement that they were doing the 90-day pause. I mean, it's like if you're going to kind of go a little bit to defense, jump in on offense on the other side because they're always projecting strength and toughness. Look, there's also stories not only about Boeing, but there are several other companies. And I've always thought this, Axios wrote this morning, Trump hates the headlines about exemptions that he gave and then kind of didn't give and then supposedly is giving but taking away in 2 months to Apple and others. The problem is it's real lives of real people. Like we can all laugh about the iPhone or video games, but whether it's selling airplanes to Chinese or Caterpillar, backhoes in China. Like the reality is our companies do a lot of business outside of our borders. We are 4% of the world's population. And so I go back to whether it's China or everything else, I don't really think they have a plan for long-term trench warfare against either the rest of the world or China. They want people to fold quickly. And when they don't, it's a problem. And now they're looking for all these, exemptions. Are we going to subsidize the farmers again for $30 billion?
Yes.
What? Yeah.
Yes,
well,
we are.
Well,
yes,
then what about every other industry that's going to start taking it on the chin?
They don't grow our food.
Okay, so you're going to tell the steel workers in Pennsylvania,
No,
tough guys.
we might give them some money too.
Okay, so now let's keep going. What about the folks in North Carolina?
No,
Textile work.
no money for them.
Great. There's a Senate race down there. Tom Tillis will be very happy to. I mean, this is the problem. They're making it up as they go. And you can't buy everybody off.
The criticism from the establishment, and I put David Sanger in that list. Wonderful man, but member of the establishment. Yeah. It continues to be critical, not just of the China focus, but of the damage that they believe the tariffs are doing. Rich Larry has an op-ed piece today saying the American economy was the envy of the world. Why is the president ruining it? Phil Gramm has an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal today. These voices remain very loud in the establishment, quietly whispered in Congress amongst Republicans, shouted from the rooftops from Wall Street and lots of CEOs.